one that is a big season for Oklahoma. Who are some underclassmen that we should be looking out for that need to have some big summers, but could contribute in a big way in 2025? We'll discuss next, coming up on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. And for your second listen, go check out Locked On Stars. They just went up 3-1 on the Winnipeg Jets in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Go Stars. Go check out Locked On Thunder. I mean, you might have some good, some bad. I mean, go listen to our man, the phenomenal Rylan Stiles, and check out his work over there. And just if you need to grieve a little bit, just go do it with Rylan. He'll walk you through it all. But Jay, as we look to 2025, the Oklahoma Sooners are in a position where they have a pretty veteran roster as they've built through the recruiting ranks and built through the transfer portal. But inevitably, we're going to have one or two underclassmen, maybe even true freshmen, like a Jaden Jackson did last year, like an Eli Bowen did last year, that are going to break out and earn starting roles or earn significant roles in the lineup. So who are a few guys that you're taking a look at? It could be either side of the ball that you feel like we need to be aware of and we need to be watching for to have significant impacts for Oklahoma this year.
Yeah, the lowest hanging fruit of them all is definitely Elijah Thomas. With the shuffle of the wide receiver room as far as injuries are happening right now, he's probably your lowest hanging fruit of them. But I'm going to continue to hit the drum of Trynae Washington. He comes in. He may not be at the 230-pound range you want, but he's around 215, still a nice size dude. And the tight end room is the one that we don't have anybody with promise that have shown up to take over it. And I think that Trynae Washington can be one of those guys. He's the one that, as we talk about bringing in more transfers, I'm like, nah, can we just play him more? Like, can we just give him more opportunity? Now, granted, he's still got to learn the playbook and he's still got to figure things out as a true freshman. And I totally get that. But like you said, we saw Jaden Jackson as well as Eli Bowen come in and, show that they're a force early. Jaden got the start at the beginning of the season. Eli comes in as injuries start to pile up at the corner spot, and he started to come in and he became a threat. So if there's one that I want to see, I think Trynae Washington is probably one of the underclassmen that I'm going to continue to beat the drum on. Let's see if he can do something.
Well, and tight end's one of those positions similar to defensive tackle or cornerback that, like, I don't expect true freshmen to have an impact. And then lo and behold, last year, two true freshmen had impacts at two of the more difficult positions to have an impact at. So if Trynae Washington's able to come in, learn the playbook, get some of his blocking stuff down, scheme him in the passing game, just give him opportunities in the passing game as a situational player, use his athleticism, use his speed as a weapon in the offense. And down the road, the blocking will come. Like, you find yourselves in some third and long situations that are obvious passing downs, and you think Trynae is your best option at tight end to be on the field, then give him a shot, man. Let's see what happens. We've got to start finding the future at tight end. You can't be relying upon transfer portal guys every single offseason. So I'm for it. Let me see it. You mentioned Elijah Thomas. It'll be curious to see how that breaks down. There's a lot of, wide receiver is still, to me, up in the air outside of Deion Burks and Isaiah Satania. I don't know how that's going to play out, how the rotation is going to play out at wide receiver. It could surprise us all.
Yeah.
But he's got the talent and the tools to go be a difference maker. I think, obviously, Michael Fasusi, Ryan Fodje. I almost combined the two and called him Michael Fodje, Ryan Fasusi.
Yes,
there you go. Be in lockstep over the next 3-4 years for Oklahoma. It's going to be hard not to utilize them. But it wouldn't surprise me to see both of those guys get a lot of snaps, especially in the first few games of the season where Oklahoma's got some of their non-conference opponents.
Yeah.
But also, you want them to redshirt, to be honest. Like, if all else fails and they are your better options, then by all means play them. But if you don't have to, you're better for it in the long run. But both those guys also have to me, the potential to be top 100 picks in the NFL draft at minimum. So will they be at Oklahoma for all 4 years of eligibility? Who knows? Let's look at the defensive side though, real quick, because
but before that,
go ahead.
Which one is the dude playing the dude disguised as the other dude when you talk about those two? Because like they come in as the same size dude. They're both about 6'6", both about 300 and something pounds. I mean, and they're both really good. Like it's hard to. We're excited about what they're going to bring to the table, so I had to throw that joke out there. But please continue. We're going to talk about defense.
I think Fodje, man. If there's one of those guys that I feel like is going to have the more significant impact this year, it's him. I don't know why. I've been on the Fodje hype train for a long, long time, and very much a believer in what he does. And I think that he's got the right mentality, the right mindset, the right physicality, the right body size to go be a force at guard. You know, he's not somebody I think is going to be laying back, just kind of waiting his turn. No, he's going to go try and earn a job and take a spot. And, you know, Bill Bedenbaugh might, you know, be a little bit loyal to a Fabechi Wiwu, but if Ryan Fodje comes out through the fall and proves to be a better option, it wouldn't surprise me to see him starting week 1. We've seen them go to true freshmen early in the season if they end up being better options. So we'll see. Defensively, man, I'm looking at a guy like Trent Wilson. You know, your defensive tackle rotation feels pretty well solidified, but I think you could still find a role for him in that rotation because he's just a guy that just the look of him, the demeanor on him, he looks like a guy ready to come play. He's not going to be sitting back waiting his turn. He's ready to go, similar to a Jaden Jackson, to earn a role and to step out and be a part of that defensive tackle rotation. You know, you got fairly lucky with your health situation last year where your top 4 defensive tackles were available to you all year long, you know, in Dejon Terry and Dominic Williams, Grayson Halton, and Jaden Jackson. Will you have the same kind of luck this year? Hopefully. I really hope so. But you may need a guy like Trent Wilson to play some snaps as a true freshman. And I think people are excited about what he brings to the table.
That's fair. I think the add to that one player when I'm looking at youth that even though we went through the depth chart, I'm thinking that Daniel Okoye is probably going to end up showing out. Like we've talked about him like crazy. Like, you know, him and Trent Wilson are probably two players that will probably skyrocket up the minute they get on the field. We saw a little bit out of that at Grayson Halton. That's what we're starting to see now. He's progressing into that dude on the defensive line. Ty Bates has done a really good job with that defensive line. But I think Okoye and Trent are probably I agree with you there on that defensive line. Those two are really going to probably take the next step and actually potentially fight for a ton of playing time. Trent being a true freshman is kind of crazy because I even look at Marcus Strong as one as well. He's one that when you gave him a couple of snaps, he got you 2 sacks. And it's like, oh, well, I don't know where that came from, but that's pretty awesome of you. And he's gotten bigger, and you can tell that he's stronger. He looks the part. And so if he continues to work on his technique, he could also push and give us that good rotation. We talked about this when we talked about the depth chart. You don't want these guys really going 400 snaps, especially in the SEC. They're going to get beat up. It's just the conference. It's just tough. It is what it is. If you can get these dudes around 200 to 300 snaps, get them in some good rhythms, man, you've got a great opportunity there to have one of the deepest defensive lines in the country. Now, granted, Trent's your youngest person. He's the only one really at that youth. So you kind of need to dig in and get a few more of them here in this class. This class, we probably got to go for at least 3 defensive linemen to make sure, interiors, to make sure that we have some to back up Trent or at least grow with Trent. But as you stated, I'm 100% here for Trent, but I think Daniel Okoye also is going to be one that's going to probably break out and show us up.
Yeah, and Reggie Powers, Michael Boganowski, Jaden Hardy, Eli Bowen, obviously, he's still an underclassman. You know, he's played significant snaps for you as a true freshman. You look at the offensive side, Zion Kearney, Ivan Carrion, those guys are going to play a lot for you. So Eddie Pierre-Louis is a dude that's slated to play a lot for you too in that freshman, sophomore, redshirt freshman range. So you've got a lot of underclassmen that could play significant roles for this team mixed in with a lot of veterans. And I think that's the good balance that Oklahoma has. You've got a good balance of guys competing for snaps that are freshmen, sophomores, or redshirt freshmen or true freshmen. And you've got a really good group of veterans that are holding down those spots saying, if you want it, you're going to have to take it. I'm not going to give it to you.
Yeah. And I think they can. I think we're going to see a lot of that. And I'm pretty excited to see. I'm excited to see that we have a pretty solid set of two deeps everywhere. We've done a really good job of Brent Venables done a great job building the defense up. Him and that staff have done a great job of building it up to where they've got a bunch of guys. They've got enough. So now we've just got to go out there and execute. And so I think he's one, though. I think he is one that's going to break out.
And that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in, being a part of the show. Let us know which underclassmen you're most excited to see in 2025, the guys you think are going to break out this season. Make sure you follow Locked On Sooners wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe to the show. Hit the notification bell over on YouTube to let you know when new episodes drop. Make sure you're following Jay at Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, over on YouTube as well. You can follow me at John9Williams. You can read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. And the show is at Locked On Sooners on all of your favorite social media platforms. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. We'll talk to you then. Boomer
Sooner. But overall, Brandon Hall's been cooking with his recruiting. Cooking.